Take us through.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and members. Here, the report seeks to reflect and summarize the hearing. The report begins by giving a background, which is the referral of the incident of the 9th of February 2023, when members were been ordered to leave the chamber. Instead of leaving the chamber, they ascended onto the stage, and the speaker had to call protection services and quickly call also the security services. And the members were removed. And the speaker on the 10th of February wrote a report, which she referred to the Joint Rules Committee as required by Joint Rule 14GA. Joint Rule 14GA requires that when members have been physically removed, the circumstances of such removal should be referred to the Joint Rules Committee, which she did. And the affected members were Mr. Malema, Mr. Shivambo, Mr. Dlamini, Mr. Ndlozi, Mr. Tambo, and Mr. Pambo. The Joint Rules considered the Speaker's report on the 25th of April and accepted the report. And amongst other proposed decisions, it asked the Speaker and the Chairperson of the NCOP to decide where to refer the matter to. The Speaker resolved to refer the matter to the Powers and Privileges Committee, I think on the 7th of September. Yes. The committee dealt with the matter in terms of the schedule on the procedure to deal with matters of contempt and misconduct. The first task of the committee was to nominate an initiator, and the initiator was nominated was Advocate Katz. Mr. Katz, the report reflects that notices were served on the members. They were given sufficient time to report to appear before the committee. The members appeared before the committee, and what they required was to be given a hearing to make an application for the postponement. Arguments were heard for both the postponement and an opposition to the postponement. The committee considered both arguments and resolved that it should dismiss the application. The next step was for the initiator to present evidence. After the application for postponement was dismissed, the members left and instructed their legal team to recuse himself. And then the initiator presented the evidence to the committee. The committee deliberated on the evidence and made a finding. And the finding was that the members were guilty as charged. The initiator also presented proposal with regard to penalties. There were two penalties proposed. One was an apology to the President, the Speaker, and to the people of South Africa. The second penalty was that the members must be suspended with pay from the 6th of February up until the 16th of February. The committee deliberated on the proposed sanction or penalty. It accepted the first part, the first penalty, which was an apology in person in the House to the President, the Speaker, and the people of South Africa. But it varied the second penalty, which was suspension. Instead of a suspension with pay from the 6th to the 16th of February, it reached a consensus that the penalty must be for 30 days, that is the month's suspension, without pay. At the time, the committee resolved that the suspension must begin from the 1st of February and end on the 29th of February. And that's the recommendation that the committee resolved it should take to the House Chair. That's the summary of the report, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Honorable members, here is the report before us. And with the recommendations, I would like honorable members to pronounce themselves whether this is the true reflection of what transpired so that the report can be adopted. Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Good afternoon, colleagues and everyone on the platform. Indeed, Honorable Chairperson, the report is a true reflection of our last discussions, but I want to raise an amendment, Honorable Chair, given the fact that as honorable members of Parliament, it is our responsibility and that we must hold the executive to account. Given that February from the 1st to the 29th, I think that we need to amend those dates as a committee. Reason being one, SONA is one of the mechanisms we use to hold the executive to account. So if we say suspension from the 1st to the 29th of February, we are depriving these members from attending SONA. So I think that will be not right to do. Let's allow them to hold the executive to account. Let's allow them to participate in SONA as one of the mechanisms to hold them to account. So I want to propose that we change the date from the 1st of March to the 31st of March. Reason being that we cannot also suspend and dock their salary in January, because we all know that January is a very difficult month. They have school, they have children that must go back to school. We all do as members of Parliament, as we all know that we pay for everything for all our school needs, for all our kids' needs at school. So that will be my proposal, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. Any checker?
Chairperson, okay.
Dr. Lotrit
I've raised
and
my hand, Chair.
Majosi.
Dr.
Lotrit
and
Mr.
Dr.
Majosi.
Lotrit, yes, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I have heard the arguments given by the Honourable Dlakudi. Chairperson, I just have a technical question on this. Could we perhaps request legal services to give us some guidance? Because as I understand it, this committee is now functus officio with regards to the sanctions and the process. We now have a report. Is it possible that the service can just some guidance here? Thank you.
Oh, let's mute, please, so that we can listen to the speaker. You may proceed, Dr. Luttrick. There was some noise. There was some noise while they were speaking.
Okay.
To get some legal advice.
Yes, because the committee is, as I understand it, functus officio, and we cannot now amend any sanction. If we could just get guidance on that, please.
Thank you. Point made. Honorable Majosi.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon to all honorable members. Firstly, let us welcome the recommendations of the sanctions, and also maybe from a point of Honorable the Deputy Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Dlaku, I understood it in that sense of saying we are not changing any sanction, but we are merely changing dates of the sanction of when they should then be implemented, because I understand the fact that we can't deprive them of going to SONA, because they must also hear what the president is going to say. And number two, I fully concur with the fact that January, we all know how January is, and February are only just adjusting to everything that happened in January. So if everything would be implemented in March, from the 1st of March up until end of March, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But also with the previous speaker, it wouldn't hurt us maybe to get that legal advice on whether we can be able to change dates, not the sanction. If we are able to change those dates, then it is proper. But I agree with the recommendations and we welcome them. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gaba.
Thank you, Chief Whip. I think, thank you, Chair, sorry. No, Chair, I think I just want to stand with the Chief Whip upon the proposal for the amendment. My reason being, maybe also to lobby to other committee members to say, in fact, this committee is so precise and in order. It's still continuing with the sanction. We are just saying it's important that each other party, either ANC or whoever, must also assist the whole parliament for the executive to account. I think the Chief Whip had said it well, and Chair, I raise my hand to support what the Chief Whip had said. It doesn't deter us. It's simply saying we're just postponing dates, but we are proceeding with the sanction. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mlenzana.
Yes, greetings, Chairperson and colleagues. Honorable Majority has actually taken my word, Honorable Chairperson. What I would add from what she actually raised was that in actual fact, this is our report. Then, as correctly put, we are not at any stage changing the content of the report, but it's just a question of shifting goalposts. We are a political institution, Chairperson, and as such, our decision also should have that element of political bearing. That suffices. I don't want to get deeper into that. More than just saying.
Hey, can you mute, please? Wait, who's making noise now?
But I was almost done.
Yes, we heard
Yeah,
you.
I was almost done.
Okay. We're reaching consensus here that we are not changing the sanction. We're only changing the dates to effect the second penalty, which is the issue of remuneration. Again, during January, just to add on that, we're closing now. The Parliament is rising on the 6th of December. I don't know when are we going back to work. So to me, I just like want also to support honorable members on the shifting of the date. Again, we will be also providing leadership. Okay. Andile, legal service, I think you want, but before you, let me allow Honorable van der Walt to make an input. Over to you, Honorable.
Chair, my apology. I raised my hand when you said we agree on the sanction, but changing the date. I was scared you're going to forget about Dr. Lotrick's question to the legal people on advising us. So if you're going back to legal now, because we have not agreed yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. That's why I wanted you to speak first so that I can go to them. Andile.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members, and good afternoon, I'm sorry, to the Chairperson and honorable members, and good afternoon to my colleagues as well. Chairperson, this is a very sensitive matter. And let me dive into it frontally. The fact of the matter, Chair, is that the hearings were held from Monday, the 20th, to Wednesday, the 22nd of November, 2023. Now, the reason why today we don't have an initiator here in front of us is because the hearing was concluded last week, Wednesday, on the 22nd of November. Now, Chair, what we are doing today, Chair, is merely to look at the report and to look at whether the report reflects accurately and factually what was decided at the hearing. Now, Chair, if you are changing the dates, you are tampering with the dates, substantively, what you are doing, Chair, you are changing the sanction. And the principle of functus officio, Chair, really applies in this instance. Because, Chair, the term functus officio, Chair, is a Latin term, Chair, which means having performed his or her office. And with regard to an official body like the committee, it means without further authority or legal competence, because the duties and functions of the original commission have been fully accomplished. So where we are, Chair, today, we're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's of the report itself. That horse, Chair, has bolted. We are no longer at the hearing stage now. In other words, the committee is out of office. What will happen, Chair, after this is that the report must go to the House. The House has the necessary authority because the House is the final arbiter. So the House can change the sanction in the manner in which it deems fit, but even the House can only do so, Chair, if they apply themselves to the principle of rationality and reasonableness. Because rationality and reasonableness, Chair, are very much part of our law. So, Chair, why we say that finality has been reached is because finality is a point arrived at when the decision is published, announced, or otherwise conveyed to those affected by it. And those, Chair, have already happened. And, Chair, you will recall that there's case law, Chair, regarding this. Even in the Sarfu case, Chair, a similar set of circumstances, took place regarding when is the final decision taken. So Chair, our advice, Chair, as legal services, is that, Chair, you cannot tamper as the committee now, because we are not sitting as a hearing now, Chair. The hearing ended last week, Wednesday. The purpose of today, Chair, is just to give a historical account in the form of a historical document like the report, just to look at whether the report reflects fairly and accurately and factually what took place last week from Monday to Wednesday. I'll end it there for now, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our legal advisor. I've got two hands, Dr. Tlhape and Mkolis.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to members of this committee. Chair, I think the legal advice nearly touched on what I wanted to ask, but I will still ask because I didn't get enough clarity as to where are we with this report. Has it been submitted? Has it been tabled? or submitted for tabling, Chair, because I thought where we are gathered, we still the committee dealing with this. So what will be the difference between the hearing and the committee report if we have to correct it? I'm asking this, Chair, because the last time when the initiator was here, we even diverted from his own advice to say, according to him, whatever he was advising was not a casting stone. The committee can even go further and chose other sanctions. Now, where we were, I thought we still here as the committee, still the report of the committee. After this meeting, when we agree that's when we're going to submit it, then we can say the horses have bolted. But I don't understand probably the difference between the hearing and the committee. After the hearing, don't we have any chance to reconvene as committee and look at what we have done and polish it and then send for or submit for tabling in the parliament? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. They are here. Legal advice is here to advise us, Dr. Hlape. Honorable Kaba, Mkolisi will be the last.
No, Chair, I think, Chair, what I wanted to indicate is that we are the committee members and obliged and required to take this decision. Legal advice simply guides us. We don't want legal advice to be making a decision for us. They could only guide us. I think having taken the decision, the legal advice could only guide us or support, but a decision, it is the responsibility of a committee. I'm just concerned if you want to refer our decision to a legal advice. We are saying here that we are amending and we are giving those dates. It is the committee, and then the legal advice adjusted to be well written. That's it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. This is part of wisdom. Honorable Stock.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Greetings to everyone who is in the platform. Honorable Chairperson, without necessarily sounding repetitive, but I think I just need to also just add my voice to all the honorable members that came before me with regard to whether the committee has got the powers to amend the recommendations of this particular hearing that we have concluded a few days ago or not. So I also want to indicate, Honorable Chairperson, from where I'm sitting, that the legal advice, yes, we appreciate, we welcome it, but we must, of course, also, strongly indicate that it's not casting stone, in as much as the work of the committee and the recommendation, the process that we've concluded up to so far, it's also not casting stone. But it is within the committee, committee members, and then this process is not yet concluded. It's here, and then we can amend and change the report as and when we feel or how we want the report or the recommendations to be adjusted or amended. Up until this report gets to the House, we can say this process is now casting stone. The House has actually resolved on a particular recommendation. So I want to say, Honorable Chairperson, yes, the recommendation is here, but I think the legal advice is actually putting due to the lack of a better word, I can say it's trying to put the cart before the horse. And I think from a legal perspective or a legal point of view, that should not be allowed. Let's be allowed as members of the committee to express ourselves and do our work diligently and accordingly within the rules of the National Assembly. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. As I move to support the proposal made by Deputy Chief Whip Lakude and also other honorable members that spoke before me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable members, we have got two views. The first one is that We're not tampering, we're only changing the date. And legally, the committee is saying it is its responsibility to can fine-tune its report. We're not adding any sanction, anything to the sanction, but only to change the dates. So the view of majority is that we proceed with what we are proposing. I believe I'm summarizing it properly. Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, I see your hand is up again.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I heard what Andile said here with regard to the legal advice, and also to say that the report has been communicated to the affected members, and also that it has been published. I don't know if I heard him correctly, because my understanding was that the report was not yet adopted, but was not yet published, or ATC for that matter. I don't know if I'm wrong. So I just want to understand from their side, given the question that also Honorable Klape asked. So if we can get a response from that, because we don't want to do at the end of the day, to do something that will jeopardize the good work that the committee has done.
Thank you,
Chair.
Honorable Deputy Chief Whip. I think you are in order. Andile, you may come back and explain. Dr. Lodrick, your hand is up again.
Yes, I would wait until the legal advice has been given or reacted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Andile, and then Victor, I saw your hand is up. Andile, can you respond to what the Deputy Chief Whip, or under general, on the comments made by the honorable members? Issue of publicity, issue of a report being served to members. These are the clarity which honorable members seek to
Thank you very
get
much.
from your good self.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, the members are correct in saying I'm not the committee. I mean, at the end of the day, the members must take the decision. But of course, my point, Chairperson, is that my presence in this committee is to guide the committee legally. And of course, in doing that, I must do that in good conscience, without fear, favor, or prejudice. Now, I think the point, Chair, that I'm communicating is that it's a simple point. I don't want to complicate it. Today's proceedings, Chair, are about the adoption of the committee report. We're not in hearing now. The hearing, Chair, ended last week, Wednesday. So what we're doing here, Chair, we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. We're looking at the report and we're saying, does this report reflect what took place last week, Monday to Wednesday? That's all today is about. Now, Chair, if you change the dates or you tamper with the sanction itself, Chair, because you took a decision, Chair. And remember, Chair, the proceedings of the committee are held in public. I mean, you communicated this, Chair. As I'm speaking to you, Chair, I received a letter today from the attorneys of the affected members, because they want us, because remember, we're supposed to be in court on Monday, but they are saying to us, Chair, and I want to explain this to the committee. They are saying to us, Chair, they do not want to go to court on Monday, precisely because some of the points they put in their notice of motion are mute now. One of which is the fact that, remember, they were approaching the court, Chair, to say that the committee must not proceed with this. So the committee has already concluded this. They were also saying to the court, if the committee has has commenced with this process, the committee must be stopped. Now that horse, Chair, is already bolted. So what they are proposing to us, Chair, they are proposing that, Chair, we set down a date somewhere in January, precisely because the sanction will only take effect in February. So already, Chair, we have a letter from the affected members saying to us, we know that the sanction will only take effect in February. So they're asking us to say they don't want to go to court on Monday anymore regarding this matter. They want us to negotiate dates so that we can go to court in the middle of January or towards the end of January, precisely because the implementation of the sanction will only take place in February. So this information is out there, Chair, because it was communicated by you to the entire world. So that deals with the issue of publicity. Now, Chair, when dealing with these matters, Chair, your regard must be paid to the requirements of procedural fairness, especially when the variation or revocation will affect rights adversely. Now, statutory authority is indeed required in order to revoke such a decision. If you look at the Powers and Privileges Act, Chair, particularly Chapter 4, which speaks about disciplinary action against members for contempt, which is exactly the statute you used to discipline these members. Not anywhere does the statute gives you authority to tamper with your sanctions, particularly when you're out of office. So, Chair, the hearings were last week. The hearings were concluded. A decision was communicated. It's a closed matter, Chair. The committee cannot, in terms of administrative law, the committee cannot reopen the hearing, because by changing this date, Chair, you are now reopening the hearing, which is wrong, because the hearing, Chair, is concluded. All we're dealing with now here is the report. So the task of the committee today is simply to look at the report and to say whether the report reflects factually, accurately, fairly, what took place last week, Monday to Wednesday. So, Chair, that's my advice. But of course, the committee is at will, Chair, to reject my advice. I'll leave it there, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Ludwig.
Thank you, Chairperson. Also, thank you to the legal advice again confirmed or just reiterated. Chairperson, I think it's very important that as committee members, we protect the integrity of this committee and its processes, as well as that of Parliament. So I would heed the legal advice and not at this point tamper with it. I think we have received advice as to how this matter can be brought again. But for now, I would merely say that the report as tabled now before this committee is accurate, and that we heed the advice that we've been given, the legal advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. And then Deputy Chief Whip will follow.
Hi, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to communicate for the benefit of the committee the NA table position on this matter. We are not giving a legal opinion, but we are looking at it from a procedural point of view. That, Chair, in terms of practice, and this is strengthened by what we got from the committee section, that committees regularly, as a matter of routine, up until the report is published, they do change their reports. And secondly, up until the report is adopted by the House, there is no prejudice, Chair. The sanction is not being brought forward, it's only being pushed further. So it has the external legal effect is not at this stage, does not at this stage arises. There is no adverse effect that we will have that is different from what would have happened in February instead of what will happen in March, Chair. Just in brief, Chair. So the NA table has a different position on this issue, Chair. And I felt that I shouldn't keep quiet and not convey our position. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, after Victor, what's your view?
Yeah, ne? So the NA table is of a view that the committee, what I want to know, Honorable Chair, is the report published? Because if the report is not published, we have said it, and we have just communicated the sanctions, and given what Ungaleka is saying now, that even the NA table and the legal service are not of the same understanding in this regard, if I heard him correctly, then my point will be, let's allow the House then to take a decision on this matter if the report is published. If not, then it means as a committee, we can still amend the dates. If I heard him correctly, if I heard Ngaleka correctly, what he was saying.
Thank you. It's exactly what you are iterating. Let us hear Honorable Kaba. You are coming back, and Honorable Stock is also coming back, and Andile again.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think what the Deputy Chief Whip is raising is quite correct. And I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of saying who have given the right for anyone to publish a report before we could adopt it. But then if perhaps maybe I may be misinterpreting the rules of Parliament and the rules of and the Powers and Privileges Committee sections, perhaps pardon me on that one. But my understanding correctly will be to say even with any other committee, once the report is adopted by the committee, then it is permissible that it could be published. I understand that on Monday we are going to the court about this matter. That is much respected. I think everyone must do his or her own task. But I want to concur with the Chief Whip to say, if this, as the committee, maybe the report has not reached a stage whereby it's adopted that it could be published, then I think we are within our right to can amend. And so I stand with the Chief Whip to say, if we are correct in our interpretation, we are amending the report for March. And then in case not, let the House decide. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Stock.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I think the question that the Deputy Chief Whip raised earlier on was not answered by the legal advisor. I take it, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe he might have just, slipped it or maybe missed it or something. But I think now, because that question was not answered, I'm going to make my submission for the record purposes. But from where I'm sitting, I'm also going to use my own interpretation, my own observation, my own analysis. And the reason why I'm saying this, because I'm also of the view, as a member of the committee, that since the last time we finalized the hearing, we have never communicated. We have communicated a decision of the meeting at that time, but we're still in the process of finalizing the report. I think that's where we are. So today's meeting, we're actually finalizing the report. That's why we're dealing with the recommendation. That's why there's a proposal, whether we amend and how we must amend it and all of that. So, Honorable Chairperson, just in conclusion, what I want to raise in the meeting is that based on the advice given to us by Mr. Ngaleka, the NA table staff, I think I also agree with him that this report is still in session, is still in process. It has not been finalized. So if there's anybody that has actually communicated a report on behalf of the Powers and Privileges Committee, that person has actually misled us, and that's not where we are. So this report is actually in session, is still in process. So it is within the rights and powers of the Powers and Privileges Committee to amend, to make additions and all of that. So that's where we are. So I just wanted in summary to say, Honorable Chairperson, I don't think there's anything wrong that we are doing. We have received two advices, one from the legal advice, one from the NA table. And the NA table one agrees with us. So I think that's the direction that we need to take. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Stock. Maybe to put a rider on what you have said, I think Mr. Ngaleka tried to outline it. The issue of publicity is that the hearing was live, so there was no secret, but it was not publicized by us because we haven't yet adopted it. So we have got those rights to can amend it. There is no one which has publicized the report before it is adopted by the committee. So I want to clarify that one. So here the issue is that we change the date of February. We're not changing the sanction. We change the date of February to March based on reasons tabled before us. So the issue of courts, we won't stop them because it's their right to do so. But ourselves, we need to make sure that we're hard at work, and we must make sure that we defend the August House integrity at the same time, because if we don't act, it's going to be business as usual, even in the near future. Maybe to cite examples, because I'm also in the joint committee in ethics committee. A sanction can be decided by the committee. Let's say we're saying we're going to take something from their pocket for 30 days. Maybe in the House, it may arise that they say, no, don't take it same time, but split it into months. That doesn't change our sanction or our decision. So I'm trying just to indicate or to clarify that there was no publicity official from our good selves. It's only that the proceedings were live. So, and at the end of the day, the chairperson is bound to release a statement on what transpired. But this process needs to be concluded the way we are doing it today. So I don't think that there is any wrongdoing which the committee will have offended. So my take is that we proceed with the proposal that the sanctions not be effected in February, let it be effected during March. I think I'm clear. Honorable Lotrick, I see your hand is up again.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. If that is committee's decision, that is the committee's decision, but I would request that my and Honourable van der Walt can also speak for herself, because we sit here in this meeting as individuals, that it's not about the actual substance or the merits of the proposed amendment, but on procedure, and I would therefore not support the change at this particular point, that the report should be adopted as it was, but that it is minuted that I do have a problem with procedure being followed. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that is noted. I think Honorable Dr. Tlape, it's a legacy hand as well as Honorable Kaba.
Mine is a new hand, Chair, but Honorable Stock said exactly what I wanted to say, because initially I asked where we are. Probably the legal advice might know something that we don't know. As and when I'm sitting here and they're saying the decision has been communicated, I might not know how things work in this committee, but it will be better to know what are we dealing with. Has letters been written to these members, and were they signed by the chair or whoever needs to sign them, so that we know what are we dealing with. If it means the horses have bolted, we must take this to the House, then let's do it. But for sure, communication could have been done through the chair or the speaker, if I don't know who signs those letters, because they are adamant that the communication has gone to the affected members, whilst as the committee we have not even adopted our report, so that in future we must know how things work in the committee. Or after hearing everything gets written and submissions are done or everything, without the committee having to sit and adopt the report. But it will be very important that they come out clear that yes, we have submitted letters to these affected members stating this, so that we know where from here we have to change this in the House if we still want to go with this, because that's what we are supporting, that let it be March, so that we don't go beat around the bush.
Thank you. Before I allow other hands, I will revert it back to our officials, to legal service, as well as NA table to answer that one, because it will assist us to have understanding, all of us. But as far as I know, no letters were sent to those members, because the report was not yet adopted by the committee, and it has not yet been tabled in the NA. That's my understanding. But let me allow, is Victor who wants to speak?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Just to clarify that, Chair, the formal adoption of the report by the committee is the last stage on this matter, Chair. Then the next stage now will be to publish in the ATC. That is tabling, by publishing in the ATC. Then it will also appear on the order paper under further business. Then the program committee either has scheduled, or it will schedule it for consideration by the House. Chair, my understanding in terms of what transpired at the programming committee is scheduled to be considered by the House on Tuesday next week, if I'm not wrong. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
There's been, and then it's only when it has been adopted by the House Chair that communication will be sent to the affected members.
Thank you, Mr. Ngaleka. Andile, is your hand up?
Yes, Chairperson, it's out, because I just want.
And mine, Chair.
I don't agree.
I can see the hands. I wanted just to get answers from NA as well as legal, according to Dr. Tlape's questions.
Can I speak, Chair?
Yes, yes. The stage
Thank
is
you very
yours.
much, Chair. I don't agree with my colleague, Mr. Ngaleka. No, not on the process he has outlined. No, the process he has outlined is correct, Chair. I don't have issues. Chair, the fact of the matter, we keep on conflating the hearing and the report. These are two different things, Chair. The hearing, Chair, ended last week, Wednesday. And the report, Chair, that is in front of us is merely for purposes of looking at whether it actually captures what took place last week. Now, Chair, to respond to Dr. Tlape's question, Chair, in general, the functus official doctrine applies only to final decisions, so that a decision is revocable before it becomes final. Now, Chair, as I said, Chair, finality is a point arrived at when the decision is published, announced, or otherwise conveyed to those affected by it. Now, Chair, in order to be regarded as final, the decision must have passed into the public domain in some manner. So Chair, let's divest ourselves of the word publish, Chair. The fact of the matter is that this information is in the public domain, Chair, because it was communicated by you at the end of the hearing, Chair. You then announced, Chair, publicly, Chair, what the sanction is. So let's not run away from that. In order to be regarded as final, the decision must have passed into the public domain in some manner. And that's exactly where we are, Chair. That's why we've been receiving correspondence from the affected members, Chair. Even the public, Chair, this thing was in the media. Even the public knows, Chair, because it played itself out publicly, Chair. So, Chair, you may proceed with it, but, Chair, the committee must live with the consequences. And I'm going to end it there, Chair. Thank you very much.
I think you did not answer the last question. Did the affected members or were affected members served with this sanction? I think Dr. Tlape asked that. The one of releasing a statement, I confirmed it, because it's the practice in Parliament that the what you call the hearing was live, so there was no secret. But these other processes, or this proceeding which we are dealing with now, that's where members want to know whether are we in line with the procedure or not denying what you are saying. Yes, I had to respond, because it's the culture of Parliament that each time we need to release a media statement, and what I've released is exactly what transpired. But the role of the committee still will have to go and discuss and adopt the report itself. And that's what is happening now. Members are now asking whether members were served with the sanction or not now, of which I'm not aware, because that cannot be done before the report adopted by the committee and the matter tabled in the NA. So Dr. Tape asked that question. I think if you may be clarified on that one, and then I will allow other hands. Dr. Van der Walt, I can see your hand is up. I'm not ignoring you. I will come to you.
Chair, the decision of the committee chair at this stage, Chair, cannot be communicated to the affected members. Precisely because, Chair, this report must still serve before the House. Chair, I don't know why is it difficult for the committee to have a watertight, neat process where the report itself, Chair, goes to the House, and the House Chair, as it has the necessary authority. Then the House Chair, of course, guided by the principles of rationality and reasonableness, the House can then provide reasons as to why they want to change. So the House can change this report, Chair.
Yeah, you are now speaking rather than to say you will distance yourself, because your presence here means a lot to us. You are really now speaking.
No, yes. No, Chair. My point is, Chair, I must caution you, Chair, because we are treading on dangerous grounds here, Chair, legally. So the point I'm raising, Chair, is that because this committee, Chair, its finding does not have what we call, Chair, a final effect. This report, Chair, must still go to the House, and the House is the final arbiter, Chair. The House, Chair, if the House in its own wisdom decides that, for instance, they want to change February to March because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they must be rational, of course, and be reasonable. So the House can do it, Chair. And I don't know, Chair, why are we fighting? Excuse my language, Chair, but I'm just being a bit dramatic, I know. But Chair, I don't know why are we still wedded to this February, March. The House can do it, Chair. But the point is, Chair, the committee cannot, because the committee is out of office. The hearings ended last week, Wednesday. We can't temper. Temper means we can't change, we can't amend. We can't with the sanction, Chair. We can put a comma and a hyphen and a full stop and say this doesn't reflect what happened and so on, but we can't tamper with the substance of the sanction itself. Once you change February, March, and so on, then you are tampering with the sanction, Chair, and that's unlawful. Thank you very much, Chair.
Can I come in, Chair?
My hand is also up, Chair, as you've acknowledged.
Ngaleka, can you please try to get hold of the chairperson? It's like she's disconnected.
Yes, we are awaiting instruction for us to come in. Thank you.
Okay, Chair, I'll call it now.
Sorry, honorable members, I was kicked out.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Honorable van der Walt, you may
Thank you.
speak. And then Honorable Majosi will follow Honorable Kaba in that order.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think we now being very repetitive. And I understood that we had a formal hearing with an initiator. We had accepted the recommendations at the previous meeting. The process will follow to take this report to the House, on which we all agreed to the recommendations. And I think the legal advisor has now explicitly, more than once, explained what is the standing of this report. And I must say that I support the explanations given. I think if any changes whatsoever, besides the correctness that we have to agree to, has to happen, it could happen at the House. But I cannot support to change anything, because those dates had a specific meaning. That was, we're going in recess now. January, we're not back at work. February we are, and that's the first month, and that's how the dates came about. So I fully support that we stick to the recommendations of this committee. It was a proper hearing with sanctions, not an ordinary portfolio committee report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Majosi. Honorable Majosi, can you hear me? Honorable Kaba.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps it could be his network, but thank you, Chair. Chair, I think out of the interpretation of the two advices we may have got here, they indicated very clearly what is paramount and of critical importance is that no communication is done to the members, which we respect them for that, because we must decide and they must proceed as the report is completed. Number two, Chair, they are not even saying our changing of report is illegal. They are only saying who may have more better rights or privileges to can change or amend it. Even the NA, for what we are saying in March, it can even amend it further. We respect the full sitting. But what I want us to be clear of, before the start of this committee, the chair outlined to say, the manner we are sitting here, we apply rules and rights of the NA duties, like as the speaker will announce if you are on Zoom and so on. So this committee should also be understood as it could also apply the rules of the NA. So having said that, Chair, I think I still want to stand and support as like Honorable Doris had proposed, to say we stick with March and then we proceed as does. And then we have yet comments from the two legal advisors we may have yet here to say even the NA can do that. But the other thing, Chair, the statement that the Chair erratum, which could be corrected by any other institution at any other point, of which the Chair can also do that, because you are now being guided. And the other thing, the authenticity of the report becomes clear and perfect once it's signed and adopted by the majority committee members. So therefore, what may have been communicated to the public we have a responsibility because it is that public that has elected us, of which collectively or as we support you, Chair, as you communicate to them, then there will be no problem to that. So the thing is, I don't see the committee as having transversed that much. So what we are definitely saying, Chair, we still stand by the march, and we propose that we amend the report as that, and I'm happy that is not communicated to the individual members. That's our standing, Chair, and thank you, Chair. I submit.
Thank you. Is there any other hand? Honorable Deputy Chief Whip? Dr. Tlapa?
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Chair,
Yes, I can hear you.
thank you very much. You know, when two people from the same institution, two different units from the same institution, advise a committee in a different way, instead of them speaking with one voice and communicating one message, then it confuses the whole situation. What I can propose, Honorable Chair, now that Andile has advised that the NA, it can only be the NA that can change or amend those dates. I'm tempted, Honorable Chair, to listen to him and also to listen to the advice of the NA table, because they work with committees as well. So for us to reach a middle ground as this committee, because we have never differed, and even now we are not differing with the sanctions, but it's on the amendment, because now they are confusing us, both of them. We know how committees function. We know that once a report is adopted and the report is 80 seat, it cannot be changed by the committee. That one we know and we are clear. But now that these two are confusing us, I want to buy into that one of saying, let's err on the side of caution. Let's allow the report to go to the House on Wednesday. Then the House will decide what it wants to do with the report. The House will have to amend the report. Then can they advise us as to how that is going to be done? Or we'll get that going forward. So I'm tempted to say that, Honorable Chair, because we have been working well as this committee, and I don't think raising this issue of amendments, it's actually an issue. Yes, we communicated publicly because our committees are held in public. We cannot run away from that. But before a report is adopted, the committee still have a power over the report. So I'm tempted, Honorable Chair, to reach a middle ground to say, okay, let's allow the House to deal with the report because it's still going to the House. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Any taker, Honorable Mlenzana? And then Honorable Majosi is back.
Yes, thanks, Chair. Chair, please bear me from background. It may be a bit noisy, but at least for now it's better. I will try to be very quick. In agreeing with the Deputy Chief Whip, let us, for now, as is, take the report as is to be 80 seats and actually tabled as is in the House. However, we as the different political parties are still free to, when making declarations in the House, we would then be able to influence the decision as per the wish that we had discussed today. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Majos.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Once again, good afternoon to honorable members. No, I took the advice of legal that maybe we can amend this recommendation in the House, and if we all agree here, then we can do so. It is not a problem. But I want to raise this, Chairperson. I know maybe I would sound a bit because as members of Parliament, it's our mandate that we must scrutinize each and every report or recommendation that comes. And I was happy with Honorable Dlakude that she brought up issues that are affecting us as adults and as parents. And I think we're agreeing in that sense of saying we want to have that empathy towards the members that we serve with. But we must not now be put in a corner to say we must be scared of anything that we'll be doing here because it is wrong. And what it's just a matter of legal to put a perspective only. And then after, when we understand that perspective, then it will give us a clear mandate of how then we should move forward. It is not wrong for members to raise issues and to question why we cannot do 1, 2, 3, because we are mandated by Parliament. We are not just a committee that comes from elsewhere. We are a committee that is mandated by Parliament to sit and discuss such issues. So we should be a committee that is able also to make those recommendations, to say no, but in this issue, this is how maybe we should take it going forward. So I just wanted to caution that in terms of legal, that can we let them not be putting a terror in us to say we must be afraid now, because if we do anything, it will be we are tampering with it's only a recommendation. This is not a cut and stone. We still have to go to Parliament, and Parliament still has to approve it. So it's clear now we can go on and we can go to Parliament and maybe do those amended recommendations to Parliament. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Majos. Dr. Lotrick.
Thank you, Chairperson. This is what I said earlier, that we have been given a way forward, and Honourable Dlakude has now phrased it, and I support that. We have done a guest committee. We can now take it to the House. As a previous member also said, I think it is important that we be appraised of the process that we have to follow as soon as possible, and whether parties will make declarations, for example, whether it be done by means of a motion or however, what the correct procedure is. But I say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Kaba, is it a legacy hand or is it a new hand? Honorable members, we have reached consensus. We are proceeding with the report as it is.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
We'll deal with the matter in the National Assembly. Thanks for the deliberation. Wise people will always do this. Arguments are the best weapon to can be able to reach a consensus. So other than any other thing, there is nothing. We'll proceed. Let us go and put it in the ITC, and then from there, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip and the honorable members, you know how to deal with it under programming. Maybe you can brief us or on the steps from now, or the N8 table. And Mr. Ngaleka, can you brief us on procedural from here? But
Honorable Chair, can I come in?
can I go back and say, let's move for the adoption of the report because it was not adopted.
I move, Chairperson.
Thank you. Any seconder?
I
Honorable
second,
Majos.
Chair.
Thank you.
I second Chair as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Victor, there is anything? Do you have anything to say?
No, Chair, except that, as indicated, the report now will be published tonight in the ATC. It will appear on the order paper on Tuesday for consideration by the House. The Chief Whip will move a motion, probably a motion for adoption with amendments or a referral back to the committee. We don't know, Chair. We'll advise later. I'll also need to speak to my
Thank you.
seniors on
Let
that
me
one.
not pressurize you. I think
Yes.
that is enough. Honorable members, we've come to the end of our meeting. Thank you so much for your deliberation. The meeting stands adjourned.
Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thanks, Chairperson.
Long live
Thanks.
the Chair.